Welcome everybody. We're here with a special Metal Monday. The guys from Zaner Metals. We got Peter Thomas, Peter Grant, and Tommy. And Tommy, what's your last name?
Garland.
Nice to have you guys on. How you all doing?
Very well, thank you.
Very well.
We're just watching the copper explode today. It's been a wild one.
Well, yeah, it's been a wild one all morning with everything.
Yeah, Pete, let's you always seem to be the guy who's got Thomas, that is. Give us some info, give us kind of what you're seeing on your end, and give us a little background on where you think this thing's going.
Well, I'll tell you what, I mean, copper is always kind of a wild market. It'll kind of lull you to sleep, and then all of a sudden it'll do something. And today, we had a situation where the Central Committee, the Chinese Communist Central Committee came out and said, oh, by the way, we've been talking about how we're not going to be doing any building. We're going to try to stimulate the economy in a different way. Well, we're going back to the old way, and we're going to build like thousands of units, and we're going to be consuming massive amounts of copper. And everybody went, what?
Yeah.
And, where's that money coming from? Well, we're going to put the way the U.S. does. You just print it. It's all okay, and so everybody sort of backpedaled and went, we got inflation, and we're going to be buying commodities. Okay. And so everything took off, and it's been a wild morning with that little tidbit of news, on top of which 2 hours later, Elon Musk comes out and goes, yeah, we decided we're getting out of California. We're going to build trucks in Texas. And everybody went, wait a minute, you're building in America? We thought you were setting up this giant plant in Singapore. You've been talking about it for a while. Well, that's going to be for cars. We're going to build all our trucks in America. Well, that could be anything from 120 pounds to 400 pounds of copper per truck. And everybody went, whoa, in America, outstanding. So that's just some of the things that drive a market intraday that we try to get along to your people on a regular basis, because that's big news. And 700 points later, copper's still going, and hopefully we see all of that come to fruition and continue to seep into our markets and seep into single strand wire and stuff like that.
Pete,
what do you see for, so we touched on copper.
Yep.
A little bit later, we're going to touch on the ability for small, medium-sized companies to hedge, and
Sure.
Kind of where your guys' forte is. But kind of give us a little background, because not only is copper running pretty hard today, but so is palladium, platinum,
Right.
rhodium. I don't know if
AutoCats have been, I don't know if you've known, I'm sure you guys have noticed because you move them, but
yeah.
AutoCats have been really hot all of a sudden. We've been seeing a lot of movement in there. And there was 4 weeks ago, they talked about the new catalytic compound that they were going to use, which was going to reduce consumption of platinum palladium in AutoCats. And then about 3 weeks ago, they went, we probably won't be able to create that new product for about another year. And everybody went, what? You just announced you were coming out with it. So I think what happened was that all of these new mystical conversions disappeared, and people went, we still need the same stuff, and we better start buying it. And I think it was a very interesting turn of events. So we've seen some very good support across the board with car sales at all-time record lows. I mean, we're at Great Depression lows, and people are saying, you know what? It's going to get better, and I'm not going to be the guy caught out here without enough material to run product down the line. And I think that's what's going on, my friend.
What about you, Peter Grant? What's your opinion on this? I know I watched your guys' podcast, and your guys' you guys do one every week as well, and
yeah,
you kind of strike me as the goal that you definitely have a pretty good beat on that market. And what's your 2 cents? And I know I'm not asking you to rub your crystal ball and tell me the future, but what's your opinion as far as which direction you kind of see this thing going, and or anything else you want to add?
Yeah, no, the precious metals in general had a great week last week, and then as you guys have already mentioned, some upside extension in Asia here on Monday. And from a technical perspective, everything looks really good. I mean, gold is setting near 8-year highs. We've seen a nice technical breakout of a range in silver. In the precious metals complex, I love when silver leads. So we've seen the gold-silver ratio come down pretty significantly over the last couple of weeks as well. Platinum and palladium, the upside extension above $800 in platinum, I think, is really encouraging. We mentioned on our show that the 850 level looked really attractive if we could extend beyond Friday's highs, and we're seeing that today. So that looks really good. Palladium, we mentioned a little double bottom on the short-term chart on palladium. And for all the fundamental reasons that Pete has already mentioned, it's also being supported on the technical side of the picture as well. So a nice rebound in palladium as well.
One quick question I have for you: why do you like to see that silver gold ratio? Why do you like to see silver lead?
It's just a much smaller, more thinly traded market, so a higher beta. And so I get a better indication when silver is leading. I almost always know gold is going to follow. Conversely, and we've seen this recently, when gold is rallying, silver doesn't necessarily follow because it derives a great amount of its demand from industry. And so while we see safe haven demand in gold, that doesn't necessarily translate into safe haven demand in silver, particularly in a kind of a demand destruction environment like the COVID crisis has fostered. And so silver can be consolidative while gold rallies. And we actually saw the gold silver ratio go as high as 129. That's a brand new record high in the ratio. Now we're trading down probably in the, I didn't look at it this morning, but we were 104 handle on Friday, and my guess is that we're significantly lower today.
We are.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and I think too, to go to Peter's point, is that it's an industrial metal. It has tremendous usage as far as on all sorts of conductive usage, and I think that spills into copper as well. The two of them are both have the ability to be in demand from any type of industrial usage. So we love to see that metal run.
Okay. Nick, go ahead and lead us into the hedging side.
So yeah, but before this call, we discussed the hedging app, the Tornado app you guys have developed. You guys kind of ran me through it, and if Peter Grant, if you want to share that, kind of run us through how that works for our customers, and we had talked about breaking this into a 3-part series because there's a lot to cover. Right. But let's do a nice quick intro to what you guys. When did you start this, first of all?
Tommy, you want to talk on that?
Yeah, absolutely. We started it back in 2004.
Okay.
Pete and I partnered up, started a metals desk, and one of the things that I noticed immediately was we didn't have the technology that I was used to. I have a foreign exchange background. I used to trade Deutschmarks on the trading floor, and I used to be a market maker for a lot of the large trading institutions here in Chicago. And so I was used to this kind of technology to be able to hedge things and unhedge things all the time. Mm-hmm. And we didn't have the technology available. So we created it. It's as simple as that. Took a little bit of while, a little technology. We made it simple as possible because we're basically simple guys. And but the real reason we made it simple because back then Pete and I were on the phone doing the majority of our deals. So we'd be on the phone and we'd have to put a hedge on or take a hedge off. We did the deal, and we didn't need to be thinking about all kinds of different bells and whistles and figuring things out. Now, of course, today in our business, things have changed. Most of it, the deals that we do are online, straight through processing, auto hedge, things of that nature. But we still have the manual hedge out there, which a lot of our clients use because not only can you see it right in front of you on your computer, it's also available on your tablets, and it's also available on your iPhones and Android devices. And a lot of guys are in their trucks, a lot of guys are going to vaults, picking metal up, and they'll be able to put on hedges no matter where they are. And they're just point and click, and the hedge gets done. It's really that simple. It's very self-explanatory. Gold, silver, palladium, platinum, all done in ounces. Copper, on the other hand, is done in pounds. But you can trade down to a single pound. You can trade down to a single ounce. These are not contracts like you'll find at the exchanges, where you're stuck into a contract of, let's say, 5,000 ounces or 100 ounces, or was it 25,000 pounds, Pete?
That's correct.
In the copper, right?
That is
25,000 pounds in the copper. I mean, if you're stuck into those contracts, the problem always is you're either jelly side up or jelly side down. You either have too much of a hedge or not enough of a hedge, and it never seems to turn out right. This way, you can do it to your exact deal and post a reference number so you know exactly what deal and what hedge matches and so forth.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to your guys' your video series, and just walking it through, you know, how the small scrap company, you know, that ships a couple loads of copper a month can protect their margin. You know, if their margins, you know, they always say in the scrap business, your margin is made on your buy. You know, and so if your margin's made on your buy, your profit's made on your buy, by either being in the right location or having great customer service or whatever that is, whatever drives your business. If you make your margin on the buy, the best way to seal it is to potentially hedge that volume, hedge those pounds, ounces, whether you're buying converters or buying wire, and hedge those ounces, hedge those pounds, take your money and move on to the next deal. And it should enable you to grow your business. I'm looking forward to hearing what you guys have to say. I'm looking forward to the video series and kind of working through with you. And I mean, I always appreciate the commentary. You guys provide a lot of value. I mean, that's why we keep doing it, is hopefully, you know, we provide some value to you, and you guys definitely provide value to our audience. So, you know, thank you again.
Well, you know, you really hit it on the head, and the last thing that we want to point out too is your banker really loves it. If you are a cash guy and you're borrowing on asset-backed loans all the time to buy or sell product, and we put a portal in your banker's office, and he pulls up your thing, he goes, "Oh, he's completely hedged, and he needs $400,000 to do this deal." Done. Boop. You're approved because he knows you're not rolling the dice anymore.
Yeah.
It's all locked in. So let's not forget that to your point, you can expand your business now because you have the trust and reliability of a brokerage firm behind you, showing where your profit and losses are already locked in. Your bankers just love this stuff, and it flows straight through to your bookkeeper. So you're always live, and you always know what you're worth down to the minute, which some days is good and some days isn't, you know.
Yep, some days it looks good. Some days you want to open up your bank account, and some days you're just happy just letting it be where it's at.
Yeah, man, I hear you, brother. So
thanks again, fellas. We appreciate it.
Yep.
We're gonna keep our audience updated when the video series comes out.
Perfect.
we're looking for, you know, once a month, whenever we can get you on, we appreciate you and appreciate the insight that all three of you guys are providing to us.
Well, you know, it's our pleasure, and the thing is that if we could save one company or we can help somebody become a little more profitable, you know, no matter what that number is, everybody works hard, and if they can get a little, and you know the old saying, guys, work smarter, not harder, and that's what we want to do is give you guys that tool.
Appreciate you guys.
Thanks, guys. We'll
Thanks,
see you
Nick.
soon.
Thanks for
Brett.
Always a pleasure, guys. Take care now.
Take
Thank
care.
you. Bye-bye.